Hi guys, it's Mrs. Dunham here, and I have a couple of announcements for the week of August 30th through September 5th. First of all, I just want to let you guys know that you all are doing an awesome job, and I'm loving what I'm seeing for the most part, and there are some things that we can work on too. I'm leaving you some feedback on your assignments, sexual documents. So, um, please be reviewing that, and please contact me with any questions that you're having. Okay, so how is this going to work? Well, I'm going to give you a letter after each of the big important announcements or after each slide, and that's going to be a word. And at the end of the announcements, when you're finished viewing them and you have all your letters, um, type that word into the text and submit. That's all you have to do. I suggest taking notes during this because these are important announcements. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so for the graphing discussion, Allie Anderson's graph was the most accurate. I want you all to ponder why hers was the most accurate. So why was hers the most accurate of all of them? And I've got it down here. Check this out. Great graph. Tell me what sets hers apart from others, and why would that make hers more accurate than others? So I want you to ponder that over this next week, and you'll have an assignment for it next week. Moving on. So congratulations, Allie. Group discussions. I love that some of you seem to truly be into science, and I love that some of you are not afraid to show your personalities on here, and that some of you are getting along great. For the most part, everyone's doing what's required of them, but some of you are not, and I'm assuming that that's just because you aren't reading the rubric that goes along with it, or the entire directions. When we do a group discussion, that group discussion is only going to work if everyone contributes to it more than just or comments on others' group discussions. Let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a discussion. For example, here is the graphing discussion. And there is a rubric with it. Let me see if I can pull that up. Show rubric. Okay, so here is the rubric for this discussion. It was worth 100 points, okay? So when we go through, these are the amounts possible that you're going to get. So I love to use rubrics. I love them when I was in your position as a student, most of all because you can actually tell what your grade's going to be or predict what your grade's going to be based on these rubrics. And sometimes I would read them and I would be like, you know what, this is the only amount of time that I have, and a B is right now what will get me through the course, so I'm just going to cut this out. But we always want to shoot for an A. So just going through, it shows that your contributions to the discussions cover all the requested components of the topic, illustrate significant forethought, and never stray from the main topic to a point that leads to distraction. And this says you will likely need a mathematically correct answer in your final post to earn full points. I'm going to need to change that. So what does this mean? It means that you're focusing on what I want you to focus on. And to earn that full 25 points, Emma has some announcements that she would like to make, apparently. It shows that you're going back and you're actually taking into account what I've asked you to do. And you have replied to a minimum of 2 classmates. Okay, this is where I see a lot of you strain. You're not contributing to 2 posts, or it's really not significantly adding to the conversation. That means that you're not you're either not posting to the 2 comments, or you're posting something that's not contributing to the conversation as far as the content. And then that goes along with building the discussion. We want the discussion to be built up. We don't want just, for you to post something, just be done with it. I want you to actually think about it. I want you to engage in the discussion, and I want you to make contributions that are of quality. So, with that being said, there are sometimes we say things like, this is a great response. I want to know not that this is a great response. You can say great response, because that's some positivity you're putting into the group discussion. I like that. But I want you to tell me why it's a great response, or why this is a great graph. This is a great graph because you have highlighted all the important things that graph needs. You have a title and labels, and it's easy to read, and these are things that I want during the group discussions. And your contributions are always completed appropriately with respect to the rules of spelling, syntax, and grammar. Just as long as we're not speaking in text. I give you some leeway with this because, I'm not your English teacher, so I can't, I'm not going to grade you as harshly as she might. Okay, so with that being said, I have 2 letters to give out. One is F and the other is L. Okay, notes. Make sure to take notes when you are watching a video, okay? And this can be either digitally, or it can be, the old-fashioned way with pencil and paper, whichever works best for you. Make sure you're keeping these notes and you're following them, and that way you can refer to them. Read the directions. I'm seeing a lot of mistakes made just simply from not reading the directions. And provide me with a descriptive summary. I'm getting a lot of, I learned about independent variables. I want to know more. I want you to put a more descriptive summary. I learned that independent variables are the factor that is changed in an experiment is something, I would like better. And I'm working on getting some examples to you of some quality student work that we have in the class, which there's a tremendous amount of quality work that I'm getting. Um, and I'm asking some students, hey, can I show the other students this? And hopefully I'll get that to you by the end of the week. Where is the feedback? Okay, this is going to be a big question for you. Where's the feedback? Because you're going to maybe get a grade and you're going to be like, why did I get this grade? So I'm going to go back. Okay. Let's see here. One thing that we did. Okay, so I've submitted a bogus assignment. It's not even, like the actual assignment on here, just to show you what you're going to see. Let's see here. So here you have your grades. And then here you have your beginning of the year housekeeping assignment. Here is your assignment. Now, I sometimes give feedback in two ways. Sometimes I'm not actually able to write on the actual document. This is because you've uploaded a file that's something other than a document, a PDF, or a PowerPoint. Another times I just put in the comment box because your assignment was so great that there was nothing, of significant quality that I could give you feedback on. So I might say, great job. You're really, did a great job describing this. I love your explanation of this. 100. Other times, I will actually write on the actual document. And to actually see that, you cannot download the document and those be on there. You have to go to your grades over here on the left hand side, click on grades, go to the assignment, and hit feedback to view. So preview of this feedback, and then you'll see, oh look, I have a comment here. You are awesome. Oh, I am awesome. Here's my comment. Moving back. All right, so our next letter is A. All right. So the last letter was A. Now we are on the scientific design project. Some of you really blew this one out of the park, and I love it. I really enjoyed reading some of these. I was amazed by some of them, how much work and effort, and how you're already beginning to think like scientists. That's very exciting to me. I could tell, though, that some of you really struggled with it. So what I'm doing now is not counting it for an actual numerical grade, but instead I did count it for attendance. So if you didn't do it, you didn't get you were counted absent in PowerSchool. What I'm going to do now is I'm reading through them and I'm giving feedback and I'm debating on whether or not we will take this any further. More than likely, I'm going to take this further. And I'm going to pair you up with some of the students that had some great ideas, great background information, and we'll take it from there. So the next letter is G. One thing that I saw most students struggle with this week are constants, controls, and the independent versus dependent variables. This is very, very common. So if I gave you some feedback on this, please do not feel like, oh my goodness, I failed. No, you haven't. This is something that college students and teachers sometimes even have trouble with. So if I gave you, some elaboration, give yourself a pat on the back because you're doing a great job. Constants. There are things that we keep constant throughout the experiment. Sometimes we call them controls. Sometimes we call them constants. I know it's confusing, but these are things that we're going to make sure that we do not change in the experiment so that we know the change we're seeing or the change we didn't see is due to the independent variable and not something else, some outside force working on the experiment. So if we were referring back to your practice problem with the fertilizers and the orchids, we would want to keep the soil type, the temperature, the sunlight, the water. We would want to keep all of these things constant or controlled, or we would be implementing these as controls to make sure that we are these factors are not playing a part in the growth of the orchids and the actual independent variable. The amount of fertilizer is what is being what is working on the orchids. Control group. A control group has no change and is used as a reference. If we see a change in the control group that we are seeing in the experimental group, then that tells us, oh, some outside force might be working on this. It's not the fertilizers that are actually making them grow larger. It's something else in the environment. Okay, independent versus dependent variables. This is what is changed. The independent variable is what is changed, and the dependent variable is what is observed. Okay, so if you're looking at something, for example, when we go back to the problem that I was just talking about with the orchids and the fertilizers, that's something that we all did. What we're changing each time would be the fertilizers. What we're observing or what we're measuring is the height of the orchids. Hopefully, that's an independent variable working on these orchids that we're observing. And our letter for that is, let me see here. Oh, for the scientific design project, it was G. And for feedback, it is E. Okay. So far we have had F, A, L, A, G, E. Okay, so now formats. You need to either submit Word documents, PDFs, or PowerPoints unless specified. For example, this assignment I've specified to only put in one word and to put that in the text. You need to use Adobe Reader to view your assignments. They will not work properly in any other software. Adobe Reader is free. I've had students struggle and they're emailing me back and forth and they're like, Mrs. Dunham, this isn't working. The links aren't working. And they're flipping out. It's taken them like 3 times the amount of time to do their work simply because they're not viewing their assignments in Adobe Reader. Make sure you're doing that. I would hate for you to be spending extra time and getting frustrated with this, because this is free to download. You can also view your assignments in Canvas. If you'll look up at the top where the file has been inserted, there's a little box up at the top. If you click on that, you should be able to see it in Canvas. It just won't be real big. Use your Google Drive if you do not have access to Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, really. Your Google Drive is a huge asset to you, and it will eliminate half the time that you're spending if you're using some other type of software. So make sure you're using your Google Drive. If you have any questions using your Google Drive, please contact me. Or view my video on using your Google Drive. And let me see, let me make sure what we're using here. Hold on a second. And our letter for this one is L. So, just going back, because this is the first time we're doing this, and it's new for me and it's new for you. So, F, L, A, G, E, L. And now, assignments for this week. Okay, so our announcements will be for 30 minutes this week. Discussion. We have one discussion up. Let me pull that up for you. Okay, so we have a discussion that was supposed to be posted last week, but it wasn't published until like Thursday of last week, which at that point I took it down. But here it is, and it's analysis of diet. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to select 2 comparable foods of your choice, like 2 main courses, 2 snacks, or 2 desserts. View their labels online or on an actual food label, and do the following. List the ingredients that are macromolecules and their amounts. I want you to give a claim, 1 sentence. It has to be evidence-based data. So you need to have data to back your claim from the label, and reasoning, scientific reasoning for which of the 2 foods you analyzed is a better choice for health and why. So you need evidence, reasoning, and a claim. Do not put on here because it's healthier. Okay, I want to know why it's healthier. This is a healthier reason because it contains more proteins, and proteins are a high source of energy, or something that you've learned along the way. Post to two people's sentences making a 1-sentence claim against theirs, using evidence and reasoning once again. So I want you guys to kind of duke it out here, and after you posted your claim, go back through there and say, you know what, I looked at these food labels and this is what I'm thinking. And then I want you to use the discussion rubric. So I've also posted some YouTube videos that you can watch to help you make your claims. and to help you post to something, a claim against theirs using evidence and reasoning once again. Or one thing that you can do is if they have a comparable food item, you can compare it to another food item. If you completely agree with all of what they're saying, maybe have another food item and make a claim to that. Okay, so here we have a web quest. In this assignment, you will learn how enzymes regulate chemical reactions inside the body. This is a little intro to that. Pretty much what you're going to do, and this is what I'm talking about. You can view it in Canvas. So here you can view it in Canvas if you need to. What you're going to do is just follow the directions. Go to the websites and fill in the web quest. Okay, moving on down. Then you have the macromolecules quiz. And what I want you to do here, and I'm going to change this to PDF. Is simply go through, read the questions. I either want you can highlight them and save them and send them to me. You can put an A up here. You can delete the rest of the options for and just leave the correct one. Or you can put like I've had students put arrows right here in Microsoft Word, save it, send it back to me. Okay. That should take about 30 minutes for you to complete that quiz. It's not that long. And then here we have what we're going to be doing this week. Or this is a new module on cellular organelles. Here we have prokaryote versus eukaryote. The PDF, you actually have some textbook reading. Read page 72. And then I want you guys to fill in this Venn diagram. Here is the textbook reading. Then you have cellular organelles information worksheet. You're going to use this worksheet and the website's listed for you, and I want you guys to research these cellular organelles that are listed for you, where they're found. So I want to know, okay, here's where they're found, what does it do in the cell, and then something that performs the same function, and you can compare this to anything in your everyday life, and it doesn't have to be a cohesive analogy. You can say the nucleus reminds me of my brain. You can say that the cell membrane reminds me of a bodyguard. You can use any of those examples. Going back, trying to get through this so you guys don't have to listen to me ramble on. And then benchmark. Here's your benchmark. What you're going to do is you being given the biology benchmark PDF. What I want you to do is I want you to go through print it off, take it like a test in a brick and mortar school, or you can do it online. But what I want you to do is I want you to go through and let me show you. Okay, number 2, that's A. I want you to find number 2 on the questions, and I want you to put, if number 2 is A, I want you to mark A in there. Okay, benchmarks are very, very important because they give me an idea of what you guys already know. This will help me prepare you for the EOC and make the class more enjoyable for you. It also provides me with feedback at the end of the year as to what I need to change or what I need to work on as a teacher to improve the course for students. So, um, with that being said, we're almost done. We're almost out of here. Um, so our next letter is L again. And then last, one thing that I want to do, beginning from here and moving on, is I'm doing a student of the week. This week it is Abigail Woodall, or Woodall. This This week's student of the week was awarded based on the amount of effort she has put in her assignments. Abigail has gone above and beyond expectations for assignments. Her work ethic is very impressive, and I really enjoyed reading your assignments. Congrats, Abigail.